Joining me now is my Forbes colleague, money and politics reporter Kyle Mullins. Kyle, thank you so much for joining me.
Always great to be here, Brittany.
It has been a conversation we have now been having for weeks. You and I have discussed before that former President Donald Trump owes over $500 million in legal penalties. Before we dive into the conversation here, can you walk us through how the former president got here?
Absolutely. So as we've discussed before, this is really the story of two different legal cases. The first legal case is one brought by E. Jean Carroll. She's a writer. She sued Trump for sexual abuse and defamation and won two verdicts against him in the state of New York. And those verdicts totaled over $88 million in damages to him in those cases. He was able to post a $91 million bond in that case. So while he is appealing those verdicts, and we will see where that goes. The second one is the much bigger one. That's the New York Attorney General's case that was brought against him for him and his companies and some of his family members for allegedly repeatedly lying about his assets and generally puffing up his business expertise and his own net worth in order to obtain better terms on loans, for example. And that in that case, the judge handed down a judgment earlier this year that said that he owed about over $350 million in damages plus $100 million in interest. That number is going up every single day until he pays. And he needs to post a bond in that case or pay up. He hasn't yet. His lawyers say that he doesn't have the cash in court. He claims that he might. We'll see what happens on that case as well. But he needs to do so before he ends up appealing the case.
New York Attorney General Letitia James said she was prepared to seize some of his assets if he couldn't come up with the cash. Has she made good on her word yet?
So she hasn't made good on her word yet. They seem to be respecting a sort of 30-day deadline, giving him that amount of time to come up with the cash he needs in that case. That 30-day deadline is this upcoming Monday, March 25th, pretty soon. So because of that, she has actually started taking some preliminary steps that would be necessary in the event that she did choose to seize some assets. We do think that it would be easier for her to seize assets in the state of New York because that's where she has jurisdiction. She could theoretically seize assets elsewhere, but it would, again, just be easier in the state of New York. She filed the judgment with the county clerk in Westchester County, New York, which is just north of New York City. Trump has two properties in that county, and so filing the judgment there is the first step that could potentially be taken toward eventually, potentially seizing either his golf course there or his Seven Springs estate.
If you live in New York, you know that Trump has quite a few properties here, but can you bring us up to speed here? Give us a general overview of his real estate portfolio.
Sure. Out of his roughly $2.6 billion fortune, real estate makes up just under $2 billion of that, about $1.9 billion. Most of it is concentrated, or a large chunk of it is concentrated in New York, but there's really three categories that we're talking about here. So the first is commercial properties. That includes office, retail, hotels, all that kind of stuff. And that spans, he has properties in New York, properties in San Francisco, properties in Chicago, properties in Las Vegas. The second category is residential real estate. He's got homes in Florida, again, homes in Las Vegas. He's got homes in California, homes in New York, of course, including his penthouse in Trump Tower. And then the third one is sort of resort and real estate, resort and golf properties. He's got 10 golf courses across the United States. He's got 3 more in Scotland and Ireland. And then he's got resorts like Mar-a-Lago, resorts like Doral in Miami. So all of these, he has this wide range of different types of properties in this about $2.2 billion real estate portfolio.